Hello everyone, my name is Brian Bourgeon and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a topic about an incident that happened last night that obviously has surrounded a specific team and a team owner that's been talked about a lot. I'm obviously talking about last night's Xfinity Series finish at Martinsville. That has a lot of people around the NASCAR industry talking. To say that Martinsville in the Final Four, stuff happened again. I mean, stuff happened. Being and banging happened. Controversy happened. Tempers flared. All of the above. So, let's talk about it. First, we gotta go to the restart. The very moment of when the restart happened. So, 3 laps to go. Before that, there was the big one. A big one that involved a lot of cars, a lot of back markers. It took out a lot of drivers. It was the big one. Again, I unfortunately couldn't see the incident because I was just coming back from work, so unfortunate turn of events, but I did catch replays. A lot of cars were involved. So yeah, long red flag. The red flag took half an hour, and now, caution's out, overtime. You have Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed on the front row. Hill, who is the leader, he's in to make it to the Final Four. Him and Custer would be moving on. Then, next to Austin Hill is his teammate, Sheldon Creed. And before this moment, Creed and Hill have had their run-ins. For example, Bristol Fall, when NBC was broadcasting the race. Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill made contact. Hill crashed, he retired from the race, and Hill obviously was upset at Creed for that, saying, who needs teammates when you have enemies? So, it's just a tough look. A tough look. So, yeah, from that moment, you already know that maybe RCR and the drivers, Hill and Creed, they were obviously seeing things differently. So, you have 2 teammates that don't like each other. The final restart of the Dead On Tools 250 and 1-2 championship spots on the line. Nemechek had already got the second spot to make it to the Final Four. I believe he got that on points during the race. So he was good. But basically, in my opinion, if he made the race or started the race, he is already in. So Nemechek already had that spot locked in. So, currently the Final Four in this restart, Austin Hill, Cole Custer. They need the race to stay where it's at. They need it to stay clean, normal finish, perfectly calm. But the past races at Martinsville, when it comes to, the cutoff race or the round of 8 in Martinsville, it's been the opposite of clean. It's been a demo derby. It happened in 2017. 2017, in my opinion, was the perfect example of this. Everything went to shit. Lots of bing and banging, lots of tempers, and the big one at the end. So, and a lot of also bent feelings, bent bumpers, bent everything. I mean, no one really liked each other. But, on to the main point, the restart. This is where a lot of things happen that we will be talking about. And I'll be talking about why Richard Childress is, in my opinion, the worst team owner in NASCAR. So here's the restart. Hill and Creed side by side. Turn 1. Nemechek has a bad start. Sammy Smith gets into him. Then to turn 1, Creed and Hill side by side. They make contact once in turn 2. Obviously, Creed didn't like it. And hey, Creed wants to win because if he wins, he's moving on to the Final Four in the championship. He gets Austin Hill back in turn 3. He bumps him out of the way. Not fully though, but enough to bump him. Push him up the track. Behind him, Allgaier and Nemechek make contact. Allgaier hits the wall. Final lap, turn 1, Sheldon Creed basically plows into Austin Hill almost like Ty Gibbs did to Brandon Jones. Turn 2, Creed and Hill make contact. Final lap, down the backstretch. They're side by side. Hill now turns into Creed. Lots of contact. Turn 3, Creed has the lead. He kind of brake checks Austin Hill, causing a massive chain reaction. The big one. Here comes Justin Allgaier. And Justin Allgaier wins the dead on twos 250 as the whole field basically wrecked behind. Lots of big hits. And wow, what a finish. Allgaier beat Creed by 0.012 seconds. One of the closest finishes, I think, in Martinsville history. So, wild finish. And lots of wild comments made. Austin Hill was obviously furious because not only did he get, well, he kind of screwed himself, if we're being honest, of a chance of winning Martinsville to advance into the Final Four. He didn't advance at all. Hill was out in the round of 8. Cole Custer got the final spot along with the race winner, Justin Allgaier. Allgaier, before the restart, was -2. He was out. And if the race stayed the same, he was going to be out. But the stars aligned for Allgaier, and he's heading to the Final Four. So, that happened. But again, lots of comments were made. Austin Hill, again, furious. He was furious. He was going to go after Creed also at the race. He had a bunch of people around him, though. So, I mean, he was walking down the pit roads. Obviously, he was going to go after one guy, Sheldon Creed, to make the way he punched Myatt Snider last year look like a baby punch. So, it was going to get ugly. But he decided otherwise, or maybe some people told him it's not worth it. And Hill went into the infield care center, not before clapping sarcastically at Sheldon Creed's crew chief, who I believe, Sheldon Creed's crew chief. And then again, even Sheldon Creed's crew chief wasn't on Creed's side, saying, hey, I don't drive the car. So, it's not pretty when even your crew chief isn't kind of like supporting what you do. But that's kind of a very bad thing. I mean, y'all are a team. Y'all should support each other. And I mean, I don't even understand why they're upset. Creed is racing for a championship. He wants to win. He wants to be in it to win it. And I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. Granted, racing etiquette nowadays is pretty much god-awful, so anything goes. But, yeah. Heck, even in Austin Hill's post-race interview, he also teased, he revealed that Sheldon Creed is going to Joe Gibbs Racing next year. So, that we know. We all know now that Sheldon Creed's going to Joe Gibbs Racing. And, I mean, he was happy. I mean, he cannot wait for Sheldon Creed to get out of RCR. He said it. And, well, he's also excited for Jesse Love to come in. But I don't know. We'll see what happens between Hill and Jesse Love next year. That's an interesting dynamic duo. We'll see how it is on the track. But also Creed wasn't upset, basically saying, hey, if Hill didn't touch me, y'all wouldn't be saying this. So, I mean, he makes a point, though. He's not wrong. But now the main comment that's taken over headlines is Richard Childress, the team owner. He was extremely blunt, seeing his drivers, Creed and Hill, not only wrecking each other, basically, but, both costing themselves a chance to make it to the Final Four. But also, Richard Childress said the following: I've had drivers drive for me before, but nobody as stupid as Sheldon Creed. What? That's insane. Coming from a team owner who has had, for example, John West Townley, Brian Scott, Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon race for them. You've had those drivers race for you. And you're saying that to Sheldon Creed. That's insane. I mean, well, maybe not Austin Dillon. Austin's pretty good. He's had championships. He's won an Xfinity championship, Truck championship, so I'll give him a side. But you cannot be saying that when you've had John West Townley, Brian Scott, and Ty Dillon race for you. That's stupid. And that's really unsportsmanlike, in my opinion, from Richard Childress. I mean, he's a terrible team owner, let's be honest. Because he throws shade to talented drivers, granted. Talented drivers. But when it comes to his grandsons, racing like shit, got Ty Dillon always running in the back. Got Austin Dillon. If Dillon would be in that seat and someone else would be in, maybe RCR would be doing better. I mean, he basically threw Reddick away last year, so, I mean, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a terrible team owner. Fucking garbage. But, I don't know. Again, he shouldn't be mad at Creed. Creed wants to win a race. He wants to go to Phoenix with a shot to win the championship. Why get upset? He also said that you don't do that as a team player. What else do you want me to tell you? Again, he's racing for a shot to win a championship. The same thing Austin Hill was doing. Even though he was technically already in on points, although I've seen and heard that I don't think Hill was even told the point situation, which is massively irresponsible from his team. If potentially his team tells Hill that, hey, buddy, you're in on points. We don't need to risk this. You can give Creed the win. And both of our cars can make it to the finale. I don't think the chaos that happens at the end happens. Granted, it was entertaining as hell. It was a wild finish, one of the best finishes of the year. But it doesn't deny that fact. But it was a mess. For Richard Childress Racing, that was a complete mess. And the way the entire team has taken it is terrible. F+. It's like, it makes the way 2023 Junior Motorsports, the way they have had their year, look insanely good. Making them look like a prime exception of a team, even though they've also been pretty bad. They've had their certain run-ins between even teammates, so yeah, it's bad. It's very, very bad. And again, Richard Childress is a horrible team owner. He sucks. I mean, you can't be saying that shit about your drivers. That's low. Especially when you have Ty Dillon. I mean, Ty Dillon. The reason he's in NASCAR is because of Richard Childress. And again, Richard Childress has hired some pretty bad drivers. And to say that about Sheldon Creed is insane. It's insane. Also, Richard Childress has said that he was asked by reporters that if Creed, who will lead the team after this season, would he be in the 2-car next week's season finale at Phoenix? He never answered. He got in his golf cart and left the racetrack. So, yeah, maybe he's not racing next week. But to be honest, if he is, if I'm Creed, I'm wrecking Austin Hill, parking in the garage. Goodbye. I'm gone. I quit. If I'm Creed personally, I don't care. So, yeah, that would happen. Martinsville certainly happened. And, well, we'll see what happens next week between RCR, the worst organization right now, in my opinion. Because with a team owner like that, the way his drivers even, well, I mean, you can't be upset really about Hill and Creed. Again, Hill was never told about the point situation. Maybe he thought he needed to win as well to make it. Or vice versa. I don't know. So, yeah, it was a tough situation. Again, really, what's going on with RCR? Really, what's going on? But, nonetheless, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video today. And I will see you all later today as I'll be reviewing F1 and NASCAR today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.